Welcome to Shelf Life. I'm your host, Patricia Emerson, here to share some of the best in young adult literature for teens, teachers, and adults of all ages. This edition features titles that focus on caring relationships. Each book also informs us about specific and worthy aspects of the world around us. We can learn so much from story. Titles include You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone by Rachel Lynn Solomon, Lovely, Dark, and Deep by Justina Chen, Thief of Happy Endings by Kristen Chandler, Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu, What the Night Sings by Vesper Stamper, and On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. In You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone, written for mature teens, twin sisters Tova and Adina are in their senior year with their eyes fixed on the future. Tova envisions attending Johns Hopkins and becoming a doctor. Adina imagines a stage, her at its center playing viola solos, her exceptional talent on display for the world. At home, their mother suffers with Huntington's, a degenerative muscle disease passed from parent to child. Life is growing more stressful as her condition worsens. Muscles fail. Memory falters. Do they have the genetic marker? Tova pushes Adina to get tested on their 18th birthday, and everything changes. The results were decided a long time ago, imprinted in our DNA. Ima says, "This is no one's fault." She places her palms flat on the table and angles herself closer to me. I'd be able to see her pores if they weren't microscopic. You wanted to know so badly, and you made me do it with you, and why? As a punishment, or because you can't handle doing it alone? Both. That's the truth. Solomon puts us inside these characters. Their thoughts and feelings become ours. Adina and Tova are struggling to make sense of their new reality. Can their Orthodox Jewish upbringing help? Information lights the path to understanding, but it doesn't change the decisions that they must inevitably make. It strikes Viola Lee out of nowhere, this extreme case of photosensitivity. She's outside on a bright Seattle morning, running one more bake sale for yet another worthy cause, when the sun, all light, becomes her mortal enemy. Why? No one can answer that. Even her parents, who are professional crisis managers, are stymied. Doctors have little to offer except to explain how Viola's life must change. She's hoped for a career in journalism, to attend NYU's campus in Abu Dhabi, to become the go-to correspondent in the Middle East. With this severe allergy, though, the desert might as well be the moon. My bedroom is darker than my thoughts. I can't see anything, not my blisters, not my hands, not my future. Frowning, I flick on the overhead light. My room remains a stubborn black. I fumble for the doorknob and widen the door so light from the hallway seeps into my room. When I look up at my ceiling, I identify the problem. There is no light bulb, just an empty socket. Without knowing it, I have become the sleeping beauty of light bulbs, which have all been banished from this kingdom of crazy. If there's any light at the end of her tunnel, it's Josh, a graphic artist who becomes her mainstay. He creates a zine based upon Viola's battle with her condition and her new life after the sun goes down. In Lovely, Dark, and Deep, Chen weaves fascinating details about this rare condition as well as zine creation. She unveils a world full of places to appreciate in the dark. The moon and stars burn safely overhead after all. Viola is not alone. Family and friends light the way. Cassidy Kerrigan has got to get back on the horse, literally and figuratively. She is spending the summer as a scholarship camper on a Wyoming ranch, helping to prepare wild mustangs for auction, but she's terrified. Her life at home in Denver has been unraveling. Life's surprises, her past failures undermine her confidence. In Thief of Happy Endings, Chandler vividly portrays the reality and complexity of horse training, as well as the real-world conflict that plays out on rangeland between the government's Bureau of Land Management and the ranchers. The Mustang became the symbol of the Wild West, but when people started driving cars instead of riding horses, wild horses stopped being useful. People started to think of them as feral, especially ranchers who wanted to run cattle where the horses lived. So the horses were hunted, killed, and used for dog food. When they passed a law to protect them, the horses stopped being butchered, but they started being locked up. Cassidy encounters fellow campers who are facing their own challenges. Will friendship, family, and love be enough to curry Cassidy's resilience? Read this novel to find out. Welcome to Los Angeles. Brash and irreverent Clara Shin, a high school senior, finally pulls a stunt at the prom that even her laid-back father cannot ignore. He's raised Clara alone. Her mom, an international celebrity, is a social media influencer, an Instagram sensation. She left them when Clara was 4. It's all good though, or that's what Clara would have everyone believe. This summer, she will work at her dad's food truck, the Cobra, something she's never done or wanted to do. She watches her dreams of unfettered freedom disappear and resents her father for this first ever punishment. Opening a restaurant, her dad's dream, depends on the success of his Korean Brazilian cuisine, the heritage that they share. In The Way You Make Me Feel, Gu takes us to Los Angeles, into its many neighborhoods and its diverse culture. She subtly feeds us information. This mild-mannered parking lot is actually what we food truck people call a commissary. It's where we park our trucks, plug in for the night, dump out our oil, clean up the trucks, refill our ice, and even keep some of our food in the industrial kitchen back there. With all the truck stuff dumped out here, it was kind of gross, but I always liked it anyway. It felt tucked away from the rest of the city. This novel is set in a city we can almost taste. Clara's punishment will have unexpected outcomes as she navigates new relationships and discovers that as messy as emotions can be, they are worth savoring. The horrors of the Holocaust endure after the Nazis surrender and the concentration camps are liberated. The war is not over, as Vesper Stamper shows in her profound novel, What the Night Sings. It centers on Goethe Roach. Goethe is a talented musician, a viola player with an exceptional voice. Her father, also a musician, has kept her Jewish heritage from her. When the Nazis take them away, she learns the truth and loses her charmed life and her dreams of a music-rich future. Americans eventually set the prisoners free as the war ends, but there is nowhere to go. She and thousands like her are held in a displaced persons camp, the very same camps where they were held as prisoners during the war. The war may have ended, but bigotry, toxic hatred of the Jews, resentment, and cruelty live on. Bereft, Goethe must reclaim her identity when the plans she has made have been brutally taken from her. I look down at my own hands. I remember when they were like the hands of the dead. Almost, but I'm not dead. I did the work of staying alive, and that's an accomplishment. This is the time to live. I start a cappella. My throat is tight. My tongue is dry and tastes bitter, but I sing. Stamper tells the much-needed next chapter in the Holocaust Chronicle, the aftermath of destruction, using pen and ink drawings, and often telling unacknowledged truths about the plight of survivors. Tillie Walden's graphic novel, On a Sunbeam, takes us on a cosmic adventure to the far reaches of the universe, to a future where humans have not changed all that much, but where they live and what they can do have. Mia arrives, the newest member of a restoration crew. This crew's job is to reclaim the grandeur of past architecture that has been destroyed by time and human conflict throughout the universe. The main story of this team's mission appears on dark panels with flashes of color, red, yellow, and orange. Mia's backstory, her time as a student at a prestigious boarding school, and how she arrived on the starship Sunbeam, unfolds in shades of black and blue. The two stories connect in unexpected ways. Mia must prove herself as a capable team member. She must also find a way to complete an important but unresolved relationship. Walden depicts people struggling with their emotions and with issues of power and natural resources that ring true in the here and now. These worlds feel like our world, for better or worse. Don't miss this stellar novel. Thank you for joining me in this edition of Shelf Life. Remember that just because it's fiction doesn't mean it doesn't tell the truth. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments below. See you next time. It's obvious I've got to go feed the dog.